Hey, Taoping Airlines Math and History, and we're gonna do some fraction busting. Oh, and yeah, that is a busted fraction. So in this video, we're gonna show an example and a shortcut that you can do when you come across an equation that has a bunch of fractions. And it may seem difficult to have that 6 over 5, subtract that by that 1/2. That isn't really an easy way to do it, because then you'll have to, since you're subtracting it, you'll have to find a common denominator, do a bunch of other steps, but there's actually a shortcut that we're going to be using. And that's called fraction busting. When we fraction bust, we're gonna get an equation that has no fractions. This is an example of what we want, but we still want to find our answer as x equals a number, or x equals 2, for example. What we don't want is fractions. This is an example what we don't want. So, with our example problem, 5 over 10x plus 1/2 equals 6 over 5 minus that by 5x. So, what we can do here is find the common denominator for all the denominators. Then we'll be able to put parentheses around them. For example, we can put a parenthesis right here and another parenthesis right here. And right next to the equation on the right, we put parentheses here and here. So 10 and 2, they both go into 10. So we're going to write 10 right here. But we also got to check this side as well. 5 and 5 also go into 10. So we write another 10 here. Doing these is pretty much almost the same thing as having a fraction like 9 over 15 is going to equal x over 5. And what you want to try and do for this example is to get x alone as an answer, as x equals. So we have to multiply both sides by 5, or what we call the multiplication property of equality, MPE. So when we find a denominator and when we multiply by 5, these two cancel out to get x alone. And we have 5, and then that 5 gets multiplied by the numerator, making it 45 over 15. And if we simplify that, we get our answer as x equals 3. So there is a similarity between MPE and busting the fractions. So when we bust them, that number 10 that we came up, because we came up with the common denominator, that number 10 does not like common denominators. It will put parentheses over the fractions saying target acquired. Then it'll attack all these numbers in the fractions, here and here, and there. So it will immediately destroy all the denominators that are the common denominators. So we say 10 divided by 10 is going to be 1 times 5. So we're going to put 5, and since we have a variable, it's x. Kaboom! Then we have 10 divided by 2 is going to be 5 multiplied by 1. So it's going to be 5 again. Another kaboom. We can also say 5 is 1/2 of 10. Then we have our equal sign.
You were there. Yes. Yes, I was.
You just let Shen get away.
At least we destroyed the weapon. Fire! Oh, no, he's got way
But on the other side of the battlefield, we have 10 multiplied by negative 5x. When you fraction bust with just a number and not a fraction, like a real number, then you just distribute normally. So 10 attack negative 5x. Now we turn to negative 50x. And 10 attacking the 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2 multiplied by 6. That's gonna be 12. So guess what we just did? Kaboom and bam! No more fractions. We just busted the fractions with the 10. And now we have a new equation. Now let's solve for x.
Oh, come on. We need you to focus.
I got it! Bring it down! We're trapped!
What we could do first is use APE or SPE. But what I'm going to try and do is have that negative 50x and that 5x. So we're going to actually add that by 50x on that side and add that by 50x on that side. So pretty much negative 50 plus 50 is going to be 0. And 5x plus 50x, 55x. Plus 5 equals 12. Then we have that positive 5 and we can use SPE or the subtraction property of equality. So we subtract that by 5 and subtract that by 5. We're going to get an answer of 7. So 55x equals 7. So then we have to divide by 55 and simplify normally. If you come across an equation or an answer as x equals 7 divided by 55, sometimes your teacher just wants to leave it as a fraction, because if you put it in a decimal, the decimal might be irrational. So pretty much, we're going to say x is going to equal 7 over 55 if you leave it as a fraction, because you can't evenly divide 7 by 55. So, fraction busting can actually help us solve these problems even faster. What we could have done normally is have that and that subtract by that, and that subtract by that, or vice versa. But that would take us even longer. But when we fraction bust, it's like a little shortcut to victory! Thank you for watching Taoping Airlines Math Industry. Like and subscribe! And to end the video, let's watch Mario in Super Mario Galaxy be hit by flying projectiles.